What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. The former WBC heavyweight champion of the world has decided to move on with another opponent. And his name goes by the name of I Walk This Earth Like a God, Charles Prince Martin. Fernando Vargas Jr. Quoted on his Instagram, his social media, he says, working alongside former IBF world champion at IIM_God with the flexing arm emoji. Stay tuned. His next fight is against at the Bronze Bomber with the fist emoji. So they're already promoting the fight. This fight is a very good fight for me. Why? Because it's a different fight. It's a different matchup. It's a different dynamic, okay? This and different dynamics are very interesting. These fights are never the way people think they go, okay? It's always something that happens in these particular fights with these guys that never fought each other, right? And then you got a guy that's always on the status of favored. Something always happens in these fights, okay? Something special happens. Let me give you a prime example. Andy Ruiz, Joshua 1. White Povetkin 1. Right? These type of fights happen. Helenius Kaunaki. Okay, because these fights are new fights. They're not fights that are built up. They're not fights that are rematches, rubber matches. They're none of those. Okay, those get redundant over time for obvious reasons. But this particular fight, we have two former heavyweight champions. The former IBF champion, Charles Prince Martin, versus the former WBC heavyweight champion with 10 title defenses, Deontay, the Bronze Bomber, Wilder. Okay? So those guys will square off. And I think this will be a special type of fight. Why? Because you have, first of all, two guys that have something to prove. You have Charles Martin that's making a comeback. Okay, he's only lost twice. Okay, and he has Manny Robles on his side. He has improved magnificently, right? Then you have Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder that just went through this last year of uncertainty, of rumors, of accusations, of doubt, of self-felt betrayal from his team. So you think a guy like Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder should go in there on fire. Why? Because this guy should have a chip on his shoulder the size of Mount Everest, okay? He should be in there to prove a point right away. I mean, a classic Dominique Brazil or Bermane Stiverne 2 type of knockout. I think that's what's in his mind. I think this is the time he needs to shine, okay? Versus a guy that hasn't lost in a long time, that has a new trainer, reinvigorated, regenerated, probably soon to be located, right? Charles Martin. So you got these two guys on this side and this side, but both on the same side because they're both with Al Heyman. The fight can happen just as easy as it could ever be made, okay? And I think these guys have something to prove because these guys are supposed to fought once upon a time due to overshadowing by other fighters, okay? Two champions, two former champions, and I think what happens with Deontay Wilder, if he wins, pay dirt. If Charles Martin wins, pay dirt. So it's a win-win if any of these guys win. Now, whoever loses is a totally different story, okay? But I like the idea of this fight. I always wanted Wilder to fight Charles Martin to just balance out the success in the heavyweight division, make his name more of a marquee name, make him a unified champion instead of the WBC. You know what I mean? So, because the IBF and the WBC, if you have that combination of belts, you have the stringent versus the what's the word? Loose. Okay? You have strict versus laid back. WBC is probably one of the most allowed situations that you ever had. When was the last time they stripped anybody for any reason? IBF, they'll strip you if you cough wrong. Okay, so if he had those kind of belts, he would be a totally different person, especially in his repertoire of accomplishments. Okay, but Charles Martin taking on Deontay Wilder, 6'5" versus 6'7", right? American versus American, former champ versus former champ. I love the sound of it. Orthodox versus Southpaw, right? I like the sound of it. You guys tell me what you think of Charles Martin versus Deontay Wilder. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.